All right, universe, welcome to a very special behind the scenes look at the Utopian baseball universe. This is the first time we've really kind of opened the curtain to let you know exactly what a day in the universe looks like. Now, I usually write Monday's content during the weekend, get a little bit of a head start, but I wanted to do this. I've been planning this now for about a month. We have a short schedule today. We only have 7 games. We simulated one game earlier this afternoon. The White Sox beat the Mets 3-1. Yoan Moncada broke a 1-1 tie in the sixth with a home run to give the White Sox a win over the Mets. Big Ed Walsh won his 5th game. Jacob deGrom fell to 2-6. The Mets, interestingly enough, turned a 6-3 triple play in the first inning. So if you haven't had a chance, go and check out that game. But we've got 6 other games on the schedule today, and you can see it right here. And I don't know how well you can see all of these graphics, but on ABC tonight, Al Michaels and Tim McCarver are covering the Red Sox and Reds. Roger Clemens against Bullet Joe Rogan. The Phillies are at the Guardians. Robin Roberts versus Satchel Paige. In Kansas City, we have the Giants and Royals. Carl Hubble versus Brett Saberhagen. The A's at Cardinals. Lefty Grove versus Dizzy Dean. Angels and Durham Bulls. Shohei Ohtani versus Gaylord Perry. And the Dodgers at Braves. Clayton Kershaw versus Greg Maddox. The other 9 series all kick off tomorrow. So now this is what it looks like for me on any given day. This is the schedule. Now what I do, we're not going to include obviously the games that aren't happening today, nor are we going to include the game that happened earlier today. The other 6 games we're going to number. So you can see Phillies Guardians 1. I'm sorry. Let's try this again. Red Sox Reds 1, Phillies Guardians 2, Giants Royals 3, A's Cardinals 4, Angels Bulls will number as the 5th game, and then Dodgers Braves 6. So these are the 6 games. So now what these numbers mean is the first game we're going to simulate is Red Sox Reds. So how do we simulate on a daily basis? Now let's bring in this simulation spreadsheet. This has every single date that we've pulled from in the history of baseball. Now you notice a lot of the dates are in the last 50 or so years, but we do pull from the early part of the century as well. But as you can see, we keep track of every single date that we've pulled from in the history of baseball. Now, you're going to have a say in that tonight. Now, we've had members pull dates all year. This is a tradition we started actually in year 1, where occasionally we would have members give us dates from history. This year, members have pulled pretty much every date from history. We usually do that in advance. So if you're watching this right now, the first person to give me a date, we're going to use that date. So I've got the comments here. I might not be able to see who's commenting, depending on if you've clicked the link at the top of the page. But first person, if you want to give me a date from history, obviously have it be during the baseball season. Don't give me January, February, November, December. JC says July 11th. Now, JC, why don't you give me a year, and then we're going to see if there are games, because the only issue we might have with that date is it's right around the All-Star break. But we'll see. If there's not games, we can pull from a day closer to that. 1986. By the way, JC, thank you so much. If you're not following JC on TikTok, A Brief History of Baseball, JC did a really cool shout out to me to try to grow followers for the TikTok account. and for the Facebook group, and it brought me to tears. Thank you so much, JC. It's such a selfless thing to do. I love you. So let's see, July 11th, 1986. So here's what we do then. I go to this this fantastic new website I've discovered called Google, and I simply type in MLB July 6th, or I'm sorry, July 11th, 1986, and I hit enter. Okay, so now I go to the site, and sure enough, we have a bunch of games. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bring these into focus so that you guys can see all the games. And you can see, just kind of follow along with me here. You see the road team won a game here, 5-0. Home team 4-3, 9-3, 8-4, and so on. We have an 11-inning game. We had an 11-0 shutout. Road team won 9-3. So now what I do, and this is where, let's actually fill in our spreadsheet here real quick. So we're going to do July 11th, 1986. So now we know we have enough games. We learned earlier that we're simulating 6 games, and we have 14 here. So how does this work? Okay, so this game, so you just have to kind of follow along here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're going to spin a wheel. And whatever number pops up first, just for example, let's say the number 14 pops up first. This is the 14th game. This result is going to populate into our first game. Okay? Then we're going to go into the box score, and we'll do that later. We're going to go into the box score, and we're going to look to see who the winning pitcher was, who the losing pitcher was, who homered, and I'll show you how it relates to our unique schedule. So these are the games we're going to shuffle. There's 14 games. We need 6 of them. So 6 of these 14 results are going to impact the Utopian baseball universe for today. So how do I do that? I go to Wheel of Names, and I make sure that all 14 numbers are represented. Okay. Now there's 2 ways to do this. I can either shuffle and use the first 6, or I can just spin the wheel 6 times. And since we have a lesser number of games, we're going to do that. We're going to do 6 spins tonight, and then see how these games impact the Utopian baseball universe. So again, these are the 14 games. Our first game is Red Sox, Reds. Okay, so let's bring that over here. Game number 1, Red Sox, Reds. Now you can see the Reds are the home team. So the games that would benefit the Reds would be 2, 8, 9, 11. There's only 4. So this is going to be interesting because we have 14 games, but the road team won 10 of them. So the Reds essentially have a 4 in 14 chance of winning tonight in the Utopian baseball universe. So let's find out. Let's spin the wheel. Okay. So this is for Red Sox, Reds. $13. Okay, so again, what that means is the first game we're simulating, Red Sox, Reds, we're pulling the 13th game from this website. 4, 8, 11, 12, 13, right here. So what that means is tonight on ABC's Monday Night Baseball, the Red Sox beat the Reds 9-3. Okay. Now, the fun part is seeing, who had a great game. We're going to get to that here in a couple minutes. But now that we know that the Red Sox have beat the Reds 9-3, we're going to take 13 off the wheel. Okay, so there we go. So now this game's been used. We're not going to duplicate it ever. So we're never going to pull from July 11th, 86 again. This will be the first and last time. So now we know the Red Sox have beaten the Reds. We're going to find out shortly how that happened. But now we're going to go on to our second game, which is Phillies Guardians, game 2. So we're going to go to Wheel of Names, and we're going to spin again. All right, so the fifth game. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Road team beats the home team 4-2, and that's what happens in Cleveland tonight. The Phillies beat the Guardians 4-2. So I always do this first. I always get the final scores first, see who the winners are, and then kind of the fun part. So let's go to our third game on the schedule. Giants-Royals. All these games here are tomorrow. We usually have about 8 or 9 games on a Monday. Everyone plays Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the other half on Thursday. So we're going to go to Giants-Royals. Carl Hubble versus Brett Saberhagen is the Utopian matchup. These are the games we're pulling from. We're going to go to our wheel. We're going to take off the number 5 because we've already used it. And we're going to pull, again, from these games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let's spin the wheel and see, again, who wins the Royals hosting the Giants. All right, so we have the number 10, and that's another road victory. So this game here, Cubs-Dodgers, was a 6-3 win back in 86 for the road team. Giants beat the Royals 6-3. All right, so you can see the road team is 3-0 using the simulation. Now again, let's take 10 off the wheel. Look back. These are the games we're pulling from. A's Cardinals, Lefty Grove versus Dizzy Dean. So let's spin the wheel and see who's going to win this game tonight. Really close, but it's 14. It's our last game. And you can see we have another 4-2 game for the road team. So Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal tonight. Little wrestling reference there for you. So the A's beat the Cardinals 4-2. Now we have 2 games left. Very interesting matchups here. Angels and Bulls, Shohei Ohtani versus Gaylord Perry. And then we got Dodgers and Braves, Kershaw versus Maddox. Why are the Durham Bulls in this? Very good question. I would love to answer it. I wanted to make the Utopian Baseball Universe 32 teams, so we brought back the Montreal Expos, and we basically promoted the Durham Bulls. Now you'll see the rosters are basically made up of the all-time greats and favorites for every franchise. Left field in Boston is like a Hall of Fame factory. You got Ted Williams, Manny Ramirez, Jim Rice, all these Hall of Fame caliber players. Some of them aren't going to get at bats based on all the talent there. So we put Dwight Evans in Durham. Carlos Beltran's in Durham. We put Garrett Cole. So it's just the Durham Bulls are basically made up of all the greats that didn't make the other rosters. And then we gave the Durham Bulls the first overall draft pick in 2020. They could have any player, and they chose Josh Gibson. So Josh Gibson is the franchise of the Durham Bulls. So we're going to do that game next. Angels and Bulls. And again, we're going to pull 14 from the wheel, see what we have left. So if you're a Bulls fan, you want us to pull a 2, an 8, a 9, or an 11. Those would all benefit the Durham Bulls. So let's spin the wheel. Oh, there it is. First home victory of the simulation. It's that 11-0 game. So right here, back in 86, the Mets beat the Braves 11-0. But tonight, it benefits the Durham Bulls, who beat the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 11-0. And then the final game, we have a lot of Braves fans in this group. I'm sure we have a lot of Dodgers fans too. But what a dream matchup. Clayton Kershaw versus Greg Maddox. It's the last game we're going to simulate today. It's going to come from one of these results. We're going to pull 11 off the board. We're going to do one final spin. Again, if you're a Braves fan, you want us to pull a 2, an 8, or a 9. Everything else that's left is going to benefit the Dodgers, but we've already pulled 4 of them. And JC says that there was a bench clearing brawl in that Mets game. So that means there's a bench clearing brawl in tonight's Angels Bulls games. Even though it's a baseball utopia, there's still testosterone. So we're going to have, there's going to be a fight, and we'll mention it within the game summaries later. So thank you for that bit of trivia, JC. Final spin again. Here we go. The numbers we have left are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 12. So let's see who wins this Dodgers-Braves game. And we have the number 4. So another road victory right here. Dodgers over the Braves 8-4. So I hope that part makes sense. That's our whole schedule. So now here's the fun part, folks. Let's focus in on, we're gonna go right down the line now. See this Red Sox Reds 9-3. Now what we're gonna do, we're done, by the way, with the wheel, so we can get rid of that for the night. Now we simply go into the box scores. So here we go. 9-3. And then we try to create some headlines, some stories. First thing I usually do is I'll look at the pitching. So we said it was Clemens versus Rogan. If Clemens was the starter for the road team, he's represented by what Doug Drabeck did that night. 6 innings, 1 earned, 3 strikeouts. Bullet Rogan was not very good tonight. 7 2/3. He went quite the distance, but he gave up 6 runs. He did strike out 10. So that is of note, okay? So what I do then is I'll go into this top line, and I'll say Clemens. Clemens is the winner, and then I've got an actual diary. I bought this at Dollar Tree. This says all the statistics for every team. Okay, every homer, every record, anything of note, basically. So Clemens, I can see, came into tonight 5-2. With the win, he's now 6-2. And then Bullet Rogan came into tonight 7-1. And he took the loss, so he's now 7-2. And then we can see that a pitcher went 3 innings for a save. Now, actually, I forgot that I used the wheel for sometimes determining who homered, if it's a DH, because we don't have a DH in the Utopian, or who got a save. Now, usually, if it's the team's closer, I'll use the closer in the Utopian. If they usually go like 3 innings, I'll use another starting pitcher that's not in the rotation, because we do that a lot in the Utopian. Each team has 9 starting pitchers. For example, the Red Sox have Pedro Martinez, Roger Clemens, Smokey Joe Wood, Louis Tiant, and Herb Pennock as their 5 starters. But they also have John Lester, Clay Buchholz, Bruce Hurst on the bench, serving in kind of long relief. So let's use the wheel. We'll determine who got that save tonight. We'll have it be between those 3. We'll say Hurst, Buchholz, Lester. There actually is a 4th starter. I'd like to actually include them too. I don't want to leave anyone out here. It's Tim Wakefield. So let's get Wakefield in there. All right, so we'll go back to the wheel, put Wakefield's name in there, and then we'll spin the wheel. Whoever we ended up here is going to get credit for the save tonight in that Red Sox-Reds game. And it's John Lester. John Lester's actually saved a game earlier this year in similar fashion. So he gets a 2nd save of the year. Now we go a little bit deeper into the box score, and I'll kind of look to see who homered. And you can see Mike Pagliarulo homered for the road team. He played third base. Tonight's third baseman for the Red Sox was Wade Boggs. So that means Wade Boggs will get credit for this homer. Dan Pasqua was pinch hit and played left field. So this is going to be someone that didn't start but entered left field. So again, we're gonna use the wheel here, and I'm going to use the first 3 non-starters that come to my head. So we're going to use Tony Candeliero, Jim Rice, and Jackie Bradley Jr. One of those 3 gentlemen hit basically a pinch hit 2-run homer in this game. So let's find out who benefited from that. And it's my grandfather's cousin, second cousin, Tony C. Tony Candeliero. So, again, Boggs. Boggs has now 7 homers on the year. And Tony C., this is his 2nd homer. And then for the home team, which was the Reds, nobody homered in this game. So now we look at kind of a storyline here. If you look up here, you can see that it was a pretty competitive game. It was 2-1 entering the 7th. The road team scored in the 7th, scored 3 in the 8th, scored 3 in the 9th. I think that's worthy of a storyline. Home team scored 2 in the 9th as well. But we're going to create a headline, we're going to say that the Red Sox scored 7 of their 9 runs from the 7th inning on. Okay, that's kind of the headline for the night. And then let's pick out some statistical monsters here. First baseman had a big night. In this case, it was Don Mattingly. For us tonight, it's David Ortiz. He was the first baseman for the Red Sox. 3 for 5, 3 doubles. You can see that right here. So David Ortiz, 3 for 5, 3 doubles, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. I think that's enough of a headline. We'll just say 3 doubles, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. I don't have a ton of space. I can improvise and do more on the right up there. But that's it. That's basically what I do. So now you know tonight on ABC's Monday Night Baseball, the Red Sox beat the Reds 9-3 on Roger Clemens winning his 6th. David Ortiz with a big night. So that's what I do. Okay. So we're going to do that for the other 6 games now. So that 4-2 win here, Phillies over the Guardians. We'll go into this box score, and this is Robin Roberts versus Satchel Paige. Look at this. Robin Roberts, a huge night. Of course, it was Ken Dixon back in '86, but the winning pitcher for the road team went 8 2/3, struck out 13. So I think that's your headline. So we're going to say Robin Roberts. He's the winning pitcher. Four and 4 on the year. And then I just want to double check to see if it was the starting pitcher that takes the loss in this game. Yes. So Satchel Paige, the loser. Paige is now 2 and 5 on the year. There was a save. So Tug McGraw is the closer for Philadelphia. We're going to give him the save, his 7th. And then we go into the box score. They did have a homer from their shortstop. Their starting shortstop tonight was Jimmy Rollins for Philadelphia. Cleveland did not have a homer. So we're going to note here that Jimmy Rollins had the only home run tonight. That was his 4th of the year. We've already determined that the star of this game was Robin Roberts. 8 2/3 innings, 2 earned, 13 strikeouts. Let's look for a player of the game on the offensive side. I would say based on looking at this, it's probably Rollins. 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, runs scored. We'll say Jimmy Rollins. 3 for 4, homer. We'll just say homer, 2 RBIs. So that's it. We're a third of the way done. Phillies beat the Guardians tonight 4-2. All right, so now we're going to go into that Royals hosting the Giants 6-3. Kind of return to the home page here. So it was this box score. Carl Hubble against Brett Saberhagen. So you can see it was the winning pitcher was the starting pitcher, losing pitcher, starting pitcher. So that means Hubble beats Saberhagen tonight. Carl Hubble is now 5 and 4 on the year. And then Brett Saberhagen, the loser for the Royals, he's now 4 and 5. We had another save. Now Lee Smith was the closer for the Cubs back in '86, so we're gonna use who's the closer for the Giants in the Utopian, and that's Brian Wilson. So we're going to give Brian Wilson credit for the save, his 12th of the year. And then again, looking at the box scores, were there any homers for the road team? Gary Matthews hit 2. Gary Matthews was the left fielder that night. The left fielder for the Giants tonight was Barry Bonds. So Barry Bonds gets credit for 2 homers in the Utopian. Came into the night with 6. He now has 8. Royals had a homer from Len Matusak back in '86, or Dodgers, I should say. But it benefits the Royals tonight. Len Matusak was the first baseman. The first baseman tonight for the Royals was Eric Hosmer. So we're going to give Hosmer credit for a home run, his 4th. And then again, create a couple headlines here. Let's see. The game was 4-3 entering the 8th. Giants added a couple in the 8th inning. Well, obviously Bonds is the story here. 3 for 4, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. And then let's see if there's anyone else of note. That Manny Trio, looks like he had a double. It looks like he had a 2-run double. First baseman for the Giants tonight was Willie McCovey. So we're going to say Willie McCovey, 3 for 5, 2-run double. And that's it. That's all we do there is we, just create a couple of headlines. All right, so let's go to A's Cardinals. And again, that was another 4-2 game. I think we had 2 4-2 games tonight. So it's this one then we're going to pull. And the pitching matchup for this is Lefty Grove versus Dizzy Dean. We've already determined the A's won this game 4-2. We can see that starting pitcher got the win, starting pitcher got the loss, closer back in 86 got the save. So we're going to give Lefty Grove a win tonight. So Lefty Grove gets the win for the A's. He's now 5-4 on the year. Dizzy Dean with the loss. Dizzy Dean is now 4-5 on the year. The closer for this Utopian A's team is Dennis Eckersley. He earns his 9th save. And then let's see who homered. No home runs for the road team. No home runs for the home team. So we look for headlines elsewhere. I mean, that pitching line is pretty good. So we're going to say no homers here. We're going to say Lefty Grove. 7 1/3, 1 earned, 3 strikeouts. That's a very good night. So 7 1/3, earned run, 3 strikeouts. Let's look for a hero at the plate. Of interest, the road team here only had 2 RBIs on the night. They probably scored, let's see, they had a ground out, a run scored. It looks like it was an unearned run. There was an error right before that at bat. We had another ground out, reached on an error. So we had like some kind of wonky plays. We didn't really have like a really big hit in this game. But in looking at the score, looking at the box score, Vince Coleman, the left fielder, drove in a run, walked once, scored a run, stole a base. So we're going to use that. Vince Coleman was the left fielder for the road team. So the left fielder for the road team in this game is Ricky Henderson. So Ricky Henderson would benefit from this box score. And looks like a Ricky Henderson type of night, wouldn't you say? So we're going to say Ricky Henderson, 2 for 4, RBI, run scored, stolen base. And that's it. We're just looking for a couple headlines. We got 2 games left. Now, JC says that he didn't realize we went by position. Josh Gibson is about to have a game in big capitals, so I can't wait to see this. So again, the home team here, the Bulls, beat the Angels 11-0. So let's go into this box score. You can see this was from 86. The Mets beat the Braves 11-0 that night. They scored 11 runs in the first 4 innings. The starting pitcher was Sid Fernandez. Complete game shutout, 2-hitter, 9 strikeouts. So that's your first headline. That's Gaylord Perry. So Gaylord Perry benefits from this historic box score. Perry is now 7-2 on the year. And then the losing pitcher was Shohei Ohtani. He only went 1 2/3, gave up 7. So we go to the Angels page in the notebook. Ohtani is now 4 and 6 on the year. And then, all right, so JC that said that the catcher in this game had a huge night. Oh, did he ever? Gary Carter on this night, 2 for 5, 2 homers, 7 RBIs. He hit a 3-run homer in the first and a grand slam in the second. Oh, this is unbelievable. And look at the pitcher. The pitcher in this game, Sid Fernandez, went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles. So that's Perry. And the center fielder went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. That's Carlos Beltran. So you've got here a ton of headlines. And I'm going to try to get it all in here. So obviously no one homered for the Angels. Josh Gibson with just a monster night. 2 homers for Gibson. He came into tonight with 6, so he's got 8 now. And then we're just going to try to stuff this with as much as we. I think we're going to lead off with Gaylord Perry because he did it at the plate and on the mound. We're going to say Gaylord Perry, complete game, 2-hit shutout, 9 Ks. Also went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles. An RBI and 2 runs scored. And then we'll say Josh Gibson, 3-run homer in the first, grand slam in the second. And then, all right, so JC said that Strawberry was beaned. I wonder if it was after the grand slam, because Carter hit a grand slam in the second to make it 7-0. Strawberry's beaned. So the right fielder for Durham that night was Dwight Evans. So we'll say Gibson hit the second homer, Evans was beaned, bench clearing brawl in the second. And that'll be one of our headlines. So I don't have a ton of room here, but in my synopsis later tonight, I can go into further depth. So cool that we chose this date as it benefits Gaylord Perry and Josh Gibson with huge nights for the Durham Bulls. Our final game here is the Dodgers over the Braves, 8-4. So we're going to go into that box score. We'll see that, again, it was the Dodgers winning. Kershaw versus Maddox. 5-run inning, 5-run fifth for the Dodgers. You can see here the winning pitcher was actually a guy that started in the 4th inning, and he went 3. It looks like every pitcher for the Dodgers that night went 3. So we're going to use the wheel, and we'll go into, let's see, I know you got Newcomb, Hershiser, Bueller. Who else? We're going to have to peek. We're going to say it was one of these starters that is kind of being used in long relief right now. Ramon Martinez. Now, of note here, they had the Pirates, this is back in 86, they had 2 pitchers go 3 innings in relief. One got the win, one got the save. So the first name that we pick here is going to be the winning pitcher. The second person we spin for is going to get the save. All right, so Don Newcomb is the winning pitcher tonight. Newcomb is 1-0 on the year. He's got 2 saves. And then the the next thing we spin is going to be, there we go, Bueller. All right, so we got Newcomb, 1-0. Maddox takes the loss. Maddox is 3-6 this year. And then the save, Walker Bueller his first. And then if we go again into the box score, the road team had 2 homers from their first baseman. Tonight's first baseman was Gil Hodges. And their third baseman, Ron Say. So we're going to say Hodges and Say. Hodges is 5th. Say his 5th. And then let's see if the Braves hit any homers tonight. They had 2. They had their shortstop tonight was for Call, and their second baseman tonight was Albus. So Albus is 7th for Call's first of the year. And then we'll try to get some headlines here. No one really pitched great on either team, so we're going to pull from the batters. We'll say, I think the third baseman had probably the biggest night, so we're going to say Ron Say. 3 for 5, homer, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. We'll say Pee Wee Reese was the shortstop for the Dodgers. So we're going to say Pee Wee Reese, 2 for 5, 2-run triple. And no one really of note for the Braves tonight. So that's pretty much it. Now, JC says the hit by pitch was in the first inning. So we're gonna change this headline then. And we're gonna say bench clearing brawl in the first inning. Okay, so that's it then. The day is done. Then what I do is I've got everything's done for. I create the PDF. So I create this. I'll post this later tonight. And then later tonight, I'll go to the standings and I'll update the standings. And then the final thing I do is I go to Facebook, I go to the Utopian Baseball Universe, I go to discussion, and then I start writing the synopsis. So I'm not going to do it all for you right now. You guys will see that later, but it'll say like, hello universe, something like what a night. And then you'll see all the write-ups. I scheduled that post for about 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. You guys see it later. And I do that every night for 7 months for your entertainment and mine, if we're being honest. A lot of nights, usually on the weekends, I'll usually write Monday and Tuesday. And then on Tuesday, I'll write Wednesday, Thursday. And then on Thursday, I'll usually write the whole weekend. So I have like 2 or 3 writing nights, but I wanted to save this for you guys and show you pretty much everything I do. And that's it. So I want to thank everyone for being members of the universe. JC, by the way, I can already see that I've got 3 new requests in the last 20 minutes. So thank you for promoting me on TikTok. If you're watching this, check out A Brief History of Baseball on TikTok. It's one of the best baseball accounts on that app. my personal favorite. Thank you so much, JC. And hope you guys enjoyed this behind the scenes look at the Utopian baseball universe. And we'll see you actually tomorrow. The timing of this is actually pretty great. JC's episode with me of Having a Catch with Joey Buckholtz is going to re-air tomorrow at 7:00 Central. We recorded our episode back in February. We're going to re-air that tomorrow night at 7:00. So again, thank you so much, Utopian Baseball Universe. Hope you enjoyed this unique look at what we do in the Utopian Baseball Universe on a daily basis. Everyone have a great night.